I'll show you how to clean your crystals. There's a couple things I want to point out, but I don't have notes as usual, so we'll just see if I remembered everything I wanted to say. If I remember it, then great, and if not, then I'll put it in the description after the video so you do get all the information that I think everyone should know when it comes to clearing their crystals. So the first thing is, before you clear a crystal, you should clear yourself. You yourself should be clear first. So if you don't know how to do that, there's a video in this same playlist, the energy healing playlist. I don't remember what I've called it, but if you go there, you'll see two videos. One is a grounding and energy clearing video that's about 5 minutes. It's almost 6 minutes. It's like 5:37, and the other video is about 9 minutes. And I probably could just link it up here, so I'll do that. Okay, so it's right there, and that's how you're going to clear yourself first. So before you clear your crystals, make sure you're clear, because crystals are high vibration. They oscillate at a certain frequency, and you want your frequency to be as close to theirs when you work with them, including when you clear them. So when to clear your crystal, I always clear my crystals, and I recommend everybody should do this when they get a new crystal. If someone gives you a crystal, if you go and buy a crystal, if you go and find a crystal, whatever it is, you should clear it before you start working with it or spending too much time with it, because you want to get rid of any sort of energy it could be holding on to, or any vibration that's not in alignment with that natural vibration of the stone. So you really just want to start with a clear, fresh, vibrating crystal. That sounds kind of funny. Anyways, so make sure you do that. You also don't want to accidentally take on or take in something that the crystal could be holding, because crystals do interact with humans' energy. They can take energy of other people, and that isn't good when you're trying to work with crystals. You could be taking on a negative sort of energy, or just energy that's not yours. It doesn't necessarily have to be malicious or negative in that way, but it's not your energy. So when you work with the crystal, you want it to be clear so it can start to attune to your energetic frequency. Everybody has a unique energetic frequency, and crystals are very similar. So it's almost like you want to give it a chance to meet you, and you want to give yourself a chance to meet it. That's why you need to be clear, and your crystal needs to be clear also. So that's my lecture on why you need to clear them. And now let's get into how you clear them. So you can have sage. Sage is my favorite way of clearing. So you get them in those little bundles, and when you break the bundle apart, you have these little sticks. I do recommend breaking the bundle apart, because you don't need a whole lot of leaf to get a lot of smoke. So you want to use the smoke to clear your crystal. So even a leaf like this has a lot of smoke to offer. So make sure that you break up the bundle first. I could probably show you an example of what I'm talking about. I'm sure most of you have seen, if you're watching this, you've probably seen what I'm talking about. But sage comes in these little bundles, and this one's already been broken apart. So of course it's not, it's usually in like a cylinder shape. And you want to take the strings off and just break them apart. It gets very messy, so break it over a towel, or a countertop that you can wipe clean. But these are the little pieces that go a long way. So you get your little piece and light it. You can use matches or a lighter. Right now I have some lighters, but I do like using matches more, just because they're a little more in line with nature, well, a lot more in line with nature than a lighter is, and better on the environment. Okay, so you see how so much smoke is coming out? So this is what you use to clear your crystal. You can hold it and let the smoke just wash over. And as you're letting it wash over, you could be saying things, or you can be visualizing, or both. So I like to say, please help me clear this crystal of any and all interference, any and all negative energy not associated with love and light is now asked to leave. It is being removed at this moment in time, and this crystal is now clear, ready to work from its highest and best and most natural vibration. And then I'll usually finish with something like, what do I finish with? I usually say, in full faith, so be it. I'm trusting that, you know, all of this is said and done. Or you can finish with, you know, and so it is, or just giving gratitude, saying thank you. But the point is, you know, those words just can't come out naturally for me. I don't think about it, but the point is, you are asking the, you know, the light and the sage smoke to help you clear this crystal of any interference, anything that's not associated with love and light. Something along those lines. And you do it with intention. You know, you don't just wave the smoke around and think it's done for you. You have to put your mind into it. You have to put your intention into it. And so what you can visualize when you do something like this is you can visualize the smoke being, well, it's a healing agent, right? And it's clearing, and you can kind of picture like anything negative coming off and washing away as the smoke comes underneath and you turn the crystal around. So that's one way of clearing it. Palo Santo is another way of clearing, and I don't think I have a stick in this room, but Palo Santo is another like ancient practice of clearing and kind of dispelling negative energy. And that kind of brings me to my next point. The practices behind, the history behind these practices is very old. So Native Americans, Aboriginals, Native people in all different cultures, so many different cultures, did this in ancient times. So keep in mind that when you clear your crystal, you want to have reverence and respect for the people who did these traditions and practices long before us, long before crystals have had their resurgence in popularity. This is in ancient times. So make sure that you really respect that this is an old practice, and many people before you have done it. And I think when we give respect like that to the sage plant, we get more assistance, and we're showing that we're coming from a high vibration and grateful place. So keep that in mind. Okay, another way of clearing crystals, again, using sage, but you could use Palo Santo. Some people use incense, frankincense, and myrrh, and there's another sort of incense you could get your hand on, or even essential oil you could get your hands on. Those also will help you clear, but like I said, I stick with sage for the most part. I have some essential oils that I use sometimes on myself. This is a blend. It's by the company Essential Oil Wizard. Essential Oil Wizardry. They do have an Instagram, and I'm pretty sure YouTube. And this one is just a nice blend. It's called Purity. So sometimes I'll rub it and I'll do the clearing practice, which I already linked for you, and I'll do it with oil on my palms, and I'll kind of feel the energy of the oil on my hands, and I'll do kind of like an energetic body clearing like this. And it feels really good. But most of the time I don't do that. Sometimes I do if it feels like a special session. Another way you can clear your crystals using, let's just say sage, but you choose what's best for you. So you take, you know, another stick if you need to. This one's gonna fall apart. And you can also use a feather. This was given to me. And this person knew someone who had a hawk, and the hawk let go of these two feathers, so now I have them. But you can also just use a feather or a leaf and kind of brush around your auric field. okay? And it's just nice. It feels good. You can get that sense of cleansing, like it's a cleaning waterfall, maybe running down your body, and you're just kind of sweeping it towards you. That's to clear you. But if it were to be done with the crystal, you would have the crystal in a place where you can brush it over with the smoke of the sage. And the same kind of process, you know, using the imagery, using words with a very clear intention, and giving respect to the process. So that's one way. Another way is if you have a lot of crystals, I recommend a wicker plate or basket, something wicker made out of this sort of material, right? So it's a natural fiber, and you can get these at Goodwills, thrift stores, all kinds of places like that. I found this at a local thrift store that I love. So if you have a lot of crystals, you can do this, you can do them all at once. And that's a really useful trick to know, because I have a lot of crystals that I need to clear in a short amount of time if I'm doing energy healing on an animal or a person. And if I have back-to-back sessions, I only have 10 minutes in between. So I might put all the crystals that I use for a layout, which these aren't my layout crystals, but if I'm doing a layout on someone, I'll put them all in the basket. This is nice because it has a handle, and then you'll take the sage and you'll put it underneath, and you'll see that the smoke comes up through the little holes of the woven basket or plate or whatever you want to use, and it gets all the crystals. So that's a really cool way to do it if you have a lot that you want to clear at once. Okay, couple more ways to clear your crystal, or things to know, or just things that I wanted to point out. Certain crystals really absorb a lot. I have found that smoky quartz, hematite, which I don't have a sample of. I mean, there's one back there, but I'm not going to scramble and get it in this video. So hematite's that really silvery, shiny stone that's very heavy, heavier than you'd think it is. So hematite, smoky quartz, and malachite, and other crystals, of course. But those three in particular, for me, seem to carry a lot of energy. They help you remove your own negative energy, and they take it for you. So I feel like smoky quartz, hematite, and malachite need to be cleansed often because they're constantly absorbing. Same with tourmaline, black tourmaline especially. So just keep that in mind. Certain crystals, I feel, have more of the job or the role of absorbing energy for you, and they might just be taking in energy all the time because that's how they're, that's like part of their construction or how they operate. So just keep it in mind. And that leads me to the next point, which is selenite. Selenite is a stone that cleanses other crystals. It is a self-cleansing stone. Self-cleansing, I guess I should say, well, it's a stone, but mineral maybe. I always get the words mixed up. I don't think it really matters. But anyways, selenite is self-cleansing. So you don't have to clear it. You don't have to cleanse it with sage, but I still do to give it thanks. At the end of a session, I'm always using this big ass selenite stick, and I have these two little guys, and I have a lot of selenite all around. Even though they don't need to be cleared, I think it's very, what's the word? You're showing appreciation when you do. And to me, it just kind of helps keep the vibration high. Not that it wouldn't be because it's selenite, but just keep it in mind. So these selenite sticks you can use to clear other crystals. And this little platform, you'll see a lot of times there's bowls and platforms. This one's actually broken, but it's perfect for just sitting your crystal on top of it, and that's how it can get cleared. So I can put, let's say, this fluorite here. I've been working with him. I want him to get cleared off. I can put him on top of selenite, and that will begin the clearing. But it needs time to do that. You need maybe 24 hours at least. So if you're going to use selenite, just know that it needs time to help clear the crystal that you're wanting to clear up. Otherwise, that's also why I like sage. It's a little bit faster. I can do it within a couple minutes in between sessions, and I think that works really well. So I hope that answers some questions about when to clear your crystals, how to clear your crystals, and just some of the thought processes I've had around that. And if you have questions, you can post them in the comments. See you!